take a look at what Dershowitz said just moments ago on this network.
Abuse of power, even if proved, is not an impeachable offense. That's exactly what the framers rejected. They didn't want to give Congress the authority to remove a president because he abused his power. They have to prove treason, they have to prove bribery, or they have to prove other crimes and misdemeanors.
You're making news here about what you will argue on the president's behalf in the Senate trial. The news you're making, as I understand it, is that, quote, abuse of power, in your argument, does not constitute as a high crime under the Constitution?
If you wanted to charge him with a crime, that's what they did in the Clinton impeachment. They charged him with specific crimes. And that's what they did with Nixon. But they didn't. Here, they haven't charged them with specific crimes as part of the articles of impeachment.
Well, we'll see. Mikhail Yang, this is an argument that goes back to, I don't know why Dershowitz is arguing this, because I've never heard anybody else arguing it, because high crimes and misdemeanors are meant to be basically a political act, abuse of power, taking the presidency and using it in ways it should not be used under the Constitution.
Yeah, and we've had a number of people, not necessarily the president, but other lower level officials impeached and removed from office on things that are very similar about misusing their power. We had the governor of Illinois go to jail for a similar thing of trying to withhold a thing of value and trying to get something for it, whether that's a political favor or money. I think that that's something. We have an entire public corruption section at the Department of Justice to go after public officials who abuse their power this way.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.